this video, I really wanted to talk to you guys about what is it that made me decide to make a video game about Jesus? Because I've been doing this for a couple years now. At different points, it's been like, it started off as something I'm like, this seems like a good idea. And then now it's become something that like my whole life kind of revolves around, including my family, which is really cool. But basically, it started when I was in Bible college. I went to Bible college at Nazarene Theological College. Give them a shout out, best place ever. And I was introduced to basically like the concept of how Christian spirituality can be linked with to video games. And that whole conference day was just absolutely amazing for me. What really kind of like popped an idea in my head was my friend Jonathan Stubbs. He is a PhD candidate. Jonathan spoke about the apocalyptic imagery in video games. So basically talking about how a lot of video games borrow images from the Bible. And I never heard that before. And I was just like really amazed at like his research and the way that he spoke. And I was like, this is amazing. I grew up playing video games. I probably, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was probably like my babysitter growing up, to be honest with you. I was always walking around with my Game Boy Color, like the purple see-through ones. I love video games, grew up playing video games. It was when I was in middle school, I was sponsored to play Counter-Strike. Do you know what I mean? So I've always been a gamer. But now, kind of like as an adult, that's dwindled down a lot simply because you have different responsibilities. I started going to university. I got married. I got a son now. I can't wait till my son gets older so I could game with him. But actually, I think that I understood that video games are a feature not just of youth culture, but just culture in general. I think that video games bring together some of the most creative, imaginative, innovative people with the latest technology, and that's a powerful combination, and I wanted to use that for Jesus, because I feel like Jesus is central to my life. My faith is really important to me, and that's something that I like to share with people. And so when I went to this conference, I got the idea, let me make a game for Jesus. I reached out to Numinous. They reluctantly agreed. And now we've been on a journey for a while now. And so I definitely think that when you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to go for it. Like, you have to take risks. And I believe that we're called to take risks. Unfortunately, naively, I should say, I thought that the more people, church leaders, pastors, people who run big organizations, global organizations, I felt like the more people that I spoke to about this thing, somebody would just be like, do you know what, George, that's an amazing idea. Here's £1 million. Like, they would just throw money at me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was close like 1 or 2 times, right? But that's just generally, it doesn't work like that. COVID put a big stop and halt on my plans with the game. And so I had to kind of pick up from square one at that point as well. But do you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I've felt like I wasn't equipped. I didn't think I don't know anything about video games other than playing them. I didn't really have the business skills at that point. And I didn't have anybody with me. And so those insecurities crept up a lot. And it was just fear. Do you know what I mean? And actually, God showed up time and time again, and put people alongside me and gave me encouragement and just gave me little nuggets of gold along the way that kept me going and just refueled me and re-energized me and re-encouraged me time and time again. And I'm so thankful for that, because honestly, my life has been blessed because of this journey that I've been on. And my family's been blessed. My son has been blessed. My wife has been blessed. I've traveled to Singapore for a digital theology conference. I met Pete Phillips and Jonas Kurlberg, and that was amazing. Been to London for the Premier Digital stuff as well. I wrote a paper about VR, Christian engagement with video games and VR, and I got invited to a conference in South Africa. So I did that. I went to India and showed some people the video game out there. And so I've literally traveled the world because of this game. I went to places I never thought I'd be at because of this thing, and I've met amazing people along the journey. So I feel that being faithful, being obedient, being willing to sacrifice a lot, to be honest with you. Willing to sacrifice relationships, money, time, just absolutely everything that you can imagine. I've had to sacrifice, and it's not been easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's still not easy to this day, but I've done it and it's paid off, and I know that I'm gonna have to continue to do it for this thing to actually, come out this year, and be fully developed, which is our goal. But for those of you who feel like you have a spirit of entrepreneurship in you, I would encourage you to keep going. If you have a cool business idea, Christian ministry that nobody's doing, keep going. Have conversations with people, share your idea with people, because the thing was, so for me, right, like the video game thing, this is kind of newish. There's not a lot of Christians who are making video games. And so, at church, there's a lot of people who have their own business. There's a lot of people who own their own charities, but none of them are doing a video game. And so my help and people's insight was very minimal. But actually, like, one conversation would lead to another, that would lead to another, that would lead to something else that would be like something good for me. And so I would say, talk to people, talk to other leaders about your idea. But my number one tip, if I could give you one major tip for a journey for you being an entrepreneur, I would say that you have to join a community of like-minded people. And what I mean by that is, like, you have to actually surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. And for me, that was game changing. Like, that changed absolutely everything for me. There's a couple of programs in the UK that do stuff like that, where they kind of take people with good ideas, but don't necessarily have like the business knowledge or wherewithal to actually make it manifest, which is where a lot of people kind of get stuck at. They say the hardest step is from 0 to 1, and then from 1 to 10 is easy. I say it's all hard, but I would agree. Like, you have to get out the boat. You have to take that first step. And so I would recommend you guys to do the Lions UK. Check them out. I'll put the link in the description. The Lions, they get like a group of people with really good ideas, do leadership training, business training, they talk about social media, everything. And then they actually provide funding if you progress onto the second and third year, which is what happened with me. But being around a group and having a community of like-minded people, it was incredibly encouraging. We had like a WhatsApp group, and we would pray with each other, and we would get together on Zoom and share ideas and talk about each other's projects and just share contacts and networks and stuff like that. And it just kind of like kept my gears going. Do you know what I mean? Because I felt like for the longest time, when I would tell people like, yo, I'm making a video game about Jesus, people would be like, okay, and or do you know what, a lot of the times what happened is like, they would be like, that's really good, George, that's a great idea, keep going. And I get like loads of pats on the back, like my back hurt, I got so many pats on the back, do you know what I mean? But that's the truth, is that your vision is your vision, and you have to run with it. You can't expect another leader or somebody else who has their own vision that God has given them to take yours on as well. Do you know what I mean? That it doesn't usually work like that. So I think that keep going, join a community. The first one is the Lions. The second one that I know of is Seedbeds, located, these are all in the Midlands. Seedbeds by Ash Barker. Ash is a really cool guy. He's easygoing. He knows what he's talking about. They do the same type of thing, leadership training. If you want to start something new, they open up their network to you, give you training, and they have like the same type of community thing. And then the last one that I know of is actually Cinnamon Network, and Bishop Mike Royal runs that one. I know Ash and Mike because they taught leadership in social entrepreneurship at MA level, and I took that module, and it was absolutely amazing. It was game changing, and so I know that they kind of do the same type of thing as well. And I would say that, like, you know, if you're on the entrepreneurial journey, just be prepared to get uncomfortable. Be prepared to take risk. Also be prepared to learn new skills. I went to Bible college. They didn't teach us anything about business elements behind church or social entrepreneurship or none of that. It's something that I've had to pick up along the way, but it's been really, really good. It's been part of the journey. I had to just bring everything I know and more together to even get to where I'm at today. But it's been totally worth it. So I hope that's been a little bit of encouragement for you guys. if you guys, if anything that I've said has been true to you, I would encourage you, check out these programs, keep going. Perseverance is key, and it's definitely worth it. So thank you guys. Please check out the podcast when they come out. They're gonna be really good, really deep if you're into that type of stuff. And I'll keep you guys updated. Our demo is out already. You can go to itch.io/discover God. Free demo. You need a headset, but it's for free. Check it out. People are using it all over the world already. They're using it to teach class. They're using it at home with their kids. It's really cool. I love that people are using something that we're creating already. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for clicking on it. We're gonna have a whole bunch of new stuff, like I said. Please stay tuned. Thank you guys. Bye.